Hey everyone, Coops here from the Whole Box and Dice. Got the Dino hat on, so we are jumping back into Ixalan Huatli Planeswalker deck upgrade video. Grab that Planeswalker deck. Hopefully you get some awesome stuff out of the 2 boosters that you get at the back of it. If not, with $20, this is how you can upgrade this one to be ready for your FNMs. Get those sweet foil tokens. We've decided to go $20 for this one. We did $10 for Nissa and Bolas last time, mainly because I really want to fit a playset of unclaimed territories in the deck. That's going to set you back about $12, which is obviously a lot of our budget, and obviously the full $10 plus a little bit more. So $20 allows us to build a very, very competitive deck, especially at the moment, kind of with things like Teamer and Running Up Red and 4-color energy going around. We want to be able to just constantly try and beat down our opponent, plus we do still need some removal in the deck as well, and I think we've been able to find a good balance between that. There was 26 lands in the deck originally, so I have cut that down to 24 because we've put a couple of cost reduction dinosaur enablers in, and I think that's a better way than having those 2 extra lands. Just because during playtesting, a lot of times I was drawing the lands and I was like, probably would prefer some gas at this point. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. I will have Jace out shortly as well, but let's jump straight into it. We're going to start off with Huatli herself and how we're going to maximize the super dinosaur synergy that she gives us. Well, the +2 for Huatli the Dinosaur Knight is put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target dinosaur you control. The -3 is target dinosaur you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't. And the -7 is dinosaur you control get +4/+4 until end of turn, which was +4/+4 and trample. That would have been very, very nice. But she costs 6, 4 red and a white, and starts off with 4 loyalty. So I did mention we're all in on the dinosaur theme. I think we have 6 non-dinosaurs in the deck, and that's the cost reduction pieces, and then the rest of our creatures, all 19 of them, are all dinos. We start off with 3 copies of Kinjali's Caller, the 0/3 human cleric that makes all our dinosaurs cost 1 generic less. We're running 3 copies of the Otterpeck Huntmaster as well. It's a 2-mana human shaman. It's a 1/2, dinosaurs cost 1 less as well, and target dinosaur gains haste until end of turn after you tap it. So you play the Huntmaster. It is a big target for removal, but if you can land it safely on the board, we do have the ability to play a 3-drop or even a 4-drop, depending on what we have out, and give it haste. Great for some of our big bombs as well. We're running a playset of Huatli Snubhorn. It's a 2/2 with Vigilance for 2. This can come down to just the cost of a white, and it's great to have that further dinosaur synergy, plus some early beaters. I like on the card as well that it has the attacking doesn't cause this creature to tap. It's a little bit of rules reference text for you new players as well. Running 3 copies of the Sky Terror. It's a 2/2 flying menace. Great evasion on this card. Great for dealing with opponents' walkers as well. Especially with Teamer at the moment. We're seeing a lot of Thopters being made. It means you're going to eat up 2 Thopters, which is a good trade, I think, for this one. And you can pump it to make it bigger as well. Running a playset of the Territorial Hammerskull. It's a 2/3 dinosaur. When it attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. A playset of Imperial Aerosaur as well. It's the 4-mana 3/3 flyer, which is already pretty good value. But when it enters the battlefield, another target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. Great to be able to give the Hammerskull flying, so that way it gets in without being potentially attacked. And you can go through for some very, very annoying flying damage. We're keeping the 2 copies of the Sunblessed Mount. This is the Planeswalker deck exclusive rare card. 5-mana 4/4 dinosaur. When it enters the battlefield, you can search your library or graveyard for your Planeswalker. So great recycle value there. 1 copy of the Burning Sun's Avatar. It's the big 6-mana 6/6. When it enters, it deals 3 damage to target creature and 3 damage to target opponent, which is great. And 1 copy of the Goring Ceratops. This is a huge finisher in our deck. When it attacks, other creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. We can go in for some absolutely huge attacks on our opponents once we get our Ceratops down. We're running 10 instants in the deck. We're running 3 copies of Huatli Spurring. Just the 1 red, target creature gets +2 until end of turn. If you control Huatli, the Planeswalker, it gets +4 instead. Great for Goring Ceratops, great for some of our aerial attacks, and also a good way to get some favourable trades defensively as well. Running 3 copies of Shock in the deck. 2 damage to target creature or player is very relevant. Great to be able to do a little bit of burn over the top, plus take out some pesky creatures. Playset a Lightning Strike as well. 2 mana to deal 3 damage to target creature or player. Great to be able to have that extra damage to the dome. Just a little bit of burn over the top. As I mentioned, we cut a couple of lands out of the deck, so we are down to just the 24 lands. We're going to run 8 mountains, 8 plains, 4 stone quarries, which are the red-white tap lands, and 4 unclaimed territories. When unclaimed enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. You can tap it for a colorless mana, but you can tap it for 1 mana of any color to spend this mana to cast a creature spell, which would obviously be Dinosaurs for this deck. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is what the upgrade looks like for the deck. So, as you can see, we're very much all in on the dinosaur theme. We had cards like Talani's Knight and the Pterodon Flyer, the 3/3 that if you had a dinosaur, it gained flying. These are really good cards, and I can see why they were put in the deck, but the reality is we really wanted to maximize that dinosaur synergy as much as we could. We've got the ability to play Huatli a couple of times through the ability to fish her out from the graveyard as well as pull her from the deck. So I wanted to make sure we got that value. And even though we can't reduce the cost of Huatli herself, having 24 lands still means you will be able to cast your 6 mana Planeswalker. I love how aggressive this deck can go as well. It's got some really good 2 and 3 drops, plus the Imperial Aerosaur is huge as well. A lot of the time we are just outvaluing our opponent in the air. Obviously cards like Kinjali's Caller and Otterpeck Huntmaster, most of the time you're trying to avoid taking these cards into combat. Obviously if you start having 3, 4, 5 of them out, something crazy like that, don't be afraid to throw them in front of a larger creature to prevent damage going through. But most of the time, their value comes from being able to play 2 or 3 really big threats on, 6 or 7 mana, when in reality you should only be able to play 1 of them. And the ability for Otterpeck to give something haste, especially like the Ceratops, or even for example, even the Aerosaur, for example. So it comes in, gives something +1/+1 and flying, but you can then attack with that itself. It's a way that you can easily get in for, about 10 damage in the air if you have your board set up correctly. And then you've got spells like Harness Lightning and Shock to be able to do that extra damage there. So you do have a little bit of reach. You've got 6 damage through Shock and you've got 12 damage through your Lightning Strike. So we're not completely all in on burn, but you do have enough there that you can put some pretty serious pressure on your opponent with some spells after combat as well. Or even know that you can swing in with creatures, and if they are blocked, you can use Lightning Strike to remove them, or Shock. And if they're not blocked, after that, you can either take those creatures out or use it to get through for some extra burn as well. Definitely the deck is going to come up with some problems during a control match. You do need to stick quite a few threats to be able to get that value. A lot of the stuff we are trying to play on curve as well, either through maximizing the cost reduction and playing them earlier. So you do have to be a little bit smart if you are playing a control deck. Plus, they'll have the negates and cards like Disallow to also stop some of your burn spells. Casting Huatli is a little bit tricky just because it's 2 mana for a negate versus 6 mana for your Walker. But Huatli is definitely a card that can help swing the game for you, especially if you can put those counters on a flyer. It means you can get in for a lot of damage. So that's going to wrap it up for us today here at the Whole Box and Dice. Hopefully you've enjoyed the upgrade video for Huatli, the Dinosaur Knight. Had a lot of fun playing with this deck. I love these aggro tribal decks that just look to get a lot of value and try and, like I said, outvalue your opponent. Hopefully you can pilot this one to a couple of those sweet foil F&M tokens that are going around at the moment. Jace will be out shortly. Thank you again for watching, everyone. Peace.